Welcome to my election fraud series. Make sure that you follow me and subscribe right here on YouTube. This is the only place I'm talking about it and can talk about it. I worked Kamala Harris's campaign in the online engagement team. It was one of 30,000. In addition to that, I got 30 years marketing, branding experience. I used to be the guy right here in downtown Chicago, where I'm from, Chi-Town, Bears Down. And basically, I'm the guy who used to promote everything from Jay-Z, Eminem, Limp Bizkit, Nelly Furtado, The Roots, Lord of the Ring, Star Wars, Star Trek, $6 billion worth of films. That's because I used to work for Universal, DreamWorks, MCA, Def Jam, a whole bunch of other companies, including iHeartMedia, until 2005 when I got into a hurricane issue with Katrina. And this Chi-Town guy knew nothing about hurricanes, and I went running and started my own business in 2005. I helped over 10,000 businesses across 100-plus countries brand and market themselves and give them advice and sell workshops. Okay, all of that said about me, I want you to understand from experience that this Kamala Harris campaign shit is real. Subscribe. Listen, you want to follow me on this. Here's the thing. The first thing I'm going to talk about is some misconceptions. And then I'm going to talk about the steal, the fraud. And then I'm going to talk about what we should do in the second part. This is a multi-part series. So let's get into this. First of all, it was not the economy or immigration. It was, I didn't want that black Indian woman married to the Jew to be in here. And it wasn't about immigration. It was about, I don't want brown people coming here at all. Think about immigration. Interesting point, right? There are millions of immigrants from Europe here. You haven't seen any of them deported, have you? They're going after the brown people. And we, as a black people, tried to tell the brown people, tried to tell the Arabs who were doing the Palestinian protests over at Kamala's campaign. We were trying so hard to tell them, and they just didn't listen. The reason I believe this election was stolen, first of all, a lot of us tried to contact Kamala's team, and, everybody's reached out. But there were some things that happened. Voter suppression. Starlink, Elon Musk, it's real. He helped that election. In fact, you just heard Trump not too long ago as I recorded this, who thanked Elon for Pennsylvania. The way that worked is that you have the machines, the voting machines were not touched. They were covered, but they had to upload somewhere to a mainframe, and the mainframe was using Starlink. And then the stuff came down. So what could he do? Could he change the numbers? Could he add the numbers? He could do all of those things. Here's the other thing that's interesting. You had cybersecurity experts for banks and for the government chiming in, sending messages to the president and the vice president, and they ignored it. Why did they ignore it? They wanted a safe, peaceful transfer? Maybe. But I think there's another thing, and this might be a conspiracy from me, but I want you to think, and I'm not saying it's true, but I want you to consider the fact that maybe 2020 was stolen, and they knew it. And that's why they gave up, because Elon figured out how to steal it back. Maybe. That's just one theory out there. The other theory is they didn't have any way to trace it, and they were going to step away. The idea is that we were looking for them to save us, and they didn't. After the end of November, I gave up hope. I said, you know what? We need to dig in and start fighting. That's what part 2 of this is about. How do we fight? Because the reality is it was stolen. It was stolen by voter suppression. It was stolen by Starlink. It was stolen by people who literally messed up the election. Now, here's the good news about that. Here's the very good news, all right? I want you to understand that even though this election was stolen, there's some very good news to this. Everybody can't keep a secret. It wasn't just Elon and Trump that knew this. Somebody's coming out. See, the wheels of justice, they move slow. That's why I told people, Elon's going to jail. Trump might go, but Teflon Don's been able to avoid a lot. But after he's president, but Elon is going to jail. And because he's breaking constitutional law, shutting down these companies, let alone what he did with the election. Somebody knows. It's not just them two. Somebody knows. And somebody's going to leak it out. Here's how it happens. Basically, somebody's going to get in trouble with something else, and they're going to start talking to get themselves out of jail and out of trouble. Just like they do with RICO cases. They're going to find out. And there are probably investigators happening right now. Why do you think the first thing that Donald Trump did when he got in office was to start firing all of January 6th, all the investigators in the DOJ and the FBI? He started firing the inspector generals. Why are you getting rid of the cops? Why are you getting rid of the cops? Because he knows that's the first thing the crook does. Get rid of the cops. And I'm telling you right now, it's bad. It's really bad the way they stole this. Now, we can sit here and hawk on the election, the conspiracy, or we can shut the fuck up and start focusing on ways to support the fight against Donald Trump. Believe me, this shit will come out. Believe me, it's not just going to go away. But if you live inside that shit while this man is doing everything he can to tear down, take everybody's money and fuck everybody over, then fuck you. You crazy. You out your fucking mind. You need to get in here and fight. How do you fight? It sounds corny as fuck, I'm going to tell you, but it works. You need, whether you're in a red state or a blue state, you need to look up who your senators, you get 2 senators, 1 House of Representatives. Hey, I done emailed on a weekly, almost every other day basis to Duckworth, Durbin, and Davis. Tammy Duckworth, Dick Durbin are my senators. Okay, very high profile. You probably heard of him. And then we got Danny Davis, who's 86 years old, older than Biden, and he just won't quit. But the point is, I'm emailing him. And here's the way I email him. I am concerned about Trump's policies. And in the body of the email, I just bullet point everything he's doing. That's all. I ain't writing them no personal letter. They got a mega staff that got to read thousands of these things. I make it very simple. And they hit me back and tell me what they're doing to fight. Very good. I'm going to keep the pressure up. If you need to call them. The idea is do what you need to do. That shit works because we're doing it about hundreds of thousands and millions. We're reaching out. It's a movement going on because they're fighting his policies. But if you want to sit here and talk about how wrong the election was, I agree. Talk about how stolen it was, yeah. You want to write petitions on the election? It's over, motherfucker. Get moving and get in the fight. That's what we do. And that's what I'm going to talk about in part 2. How the fuck do we fight this shit? And what's going to come for Trump over time and for Elon over time for stealing this election? They're already setting it up. Like I said earlier, the wheels of justice are slow. But them motherfuckers is coming for their ass. Believe me. And it may not be what you think it is. See, here's the thing you got to understand. There's thousands of investigators who are totally pissed at both of them for trying to take their jobs and fire them. Real investigators will work on salary or be financed by someone like Mark Cuban or someone else to look into things privately. So they got a salary going on, but they're looking into stuff and they're getting resources. There's stuff behind the scenes that some of us on the campaign have learned that there is investigation. It's not officially out the government. It's independent. They're coming for that ass. Now, the question is, what do we do? And that's what I'm going to talk about in part 2. If you like what I said here and I confirm what you already know, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to talk about more. This ain't about conspiracy theories. This is about what happened, confirming your suspicions, and telling you, motherfucker, move. Get with your 2 senators and representatives and fight. Every week he's coming up with crazy executive orders. Seriously, just stupid. He did an executive order to make plastic straws. Really, motherfucker? Really? Seriously, an executive order to make the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. I'm telling you, he's a clown and he's weak. But we're going to beat him through the people, through you reaching your legislators. Also join Indivisible. Look up indivisible.org. They rock. Leah and Ezra rock. All right? That's my thoughts on it. That's what I think you should do. And wait for part 2 when I talk about more things we should fight with. Thank you for your subscription.